right, come on in, day 26. Thank you all so much for being with me on this journey of going back through 66 years of my life and presenting memories and times of reflection where God just stepped in and did his thing. I'm just so grateful. This is Sunday morning, and I'm doing a pre recording because they're going to do a birthday celebration for me at my church, and I'm not quite sure what time I'm going to get back. But I do want to say thank you all to those of you who have been blessing me for my birthday. I looked at my Cash App today and had some things that God had that you all have blessed me with. So I just want to say thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will actually be getting on the road tomorrow, the 27th, my birthday, as we celebrate the book launch of The Dear Little Girl in Me in New York City. So the launch is actually going to start on the 28th. So I'm going to be putting up some information for that on my Facebook page, and I hope that you will be active in our campaign to be the #1 bestseller through Amazon. So we're excited that God is doing this great thing. On the 30th, we'll be in Times Square at our billboard with our books in hand, celebrating the movement that God is doing, taking the mask and the unmuting women that have been abused or neglected or rejected in their childhood. They have a voice and they're going to speak loud. So I'm so grateful to be one of 15 authors in this anthology, The Dear Little Girl and Me. So anyway, as you can see, I have some things lined up, and I'm so grateful for the Cycle Breakers for Life community, for my family, my friends, my church members for being a part, and just really celebrating my birthday with me. So listen, we're going to jump right in to this. Oh gosh, this memory. I want you all to tag somebody, tag a family member, a friend, another cycle breaker, a church member, anybody that you know will be blessed by the testimonies that we've been sharing. So we're on day 26, so 27 days of fire, the road to 67, and one more day until my birthday. And today I want to take you into a moment that shifted the entire trajectory of our lives, my husband and I. This is the moment when God said, go. And I remember waking up one morning and my husband was already up, and he said, I know where God wants us to go. Now you have to understand that kind of statement. It will wake you up real quick, right? I said to him, go. He said, God showed me where to start a ministry in Burlington, North Carolina. My response was, Burlington? What is a Burlington? You see, this was the city about 25 minutes from Greensboro. And this wasn't just any city. This was the same city where my husband used to work as a bouncer in a nightclub. Believe it or not, those of you who know Bishop J.F. Phifer, can you imagine him bouncing in a nightclub? Anyway, it was the same nightclub where his mother showed up one night and prayed over that place, declaring that this is not, talking to her son, where you're supposed to be. And within a month, he will be found in a joy night service, rededicating his life back to Christ. Thank God for Bishop W.L. Washington and his ministry to youth, right? And now God was sending us back, not to the nightclub, but to building a ministry. Now, let me tell you, this was not a small thing. We were both actively working in our ministry, the headquarters church, our Powerhouse of Deliverance in Greensboro, North Carolina, where we were surrounded by leadership, structure, and a whole lot of support. And my husband, one of many ministers, including myself, was seeking God for his divine assignment, and God was answering him. Now, the problem was I didn't know that part of the conversation between him and God, right? So, anyway, we went to Burlington looking for a building. And when he saw it, he stopped and he said, This is the building that I saw in my dream. Now, that will make you pause for real. Because when God shows you something and then lets you see it in real life, you know that this thing is bigger than you. And it was. So he spoke to the owner and he told us that someone had already put down a deposit and paid the first month's rent. But this group of people had kind of disappeared. He had not heard from them. So he wanted to wait. And within a week, the owner called and said, the building, if you still want it, it's yours because we cannot find the people that have put down the deposit or the first month's rent. So guess what? God made room for us. So we stepped in. And when I say that that building was not ready, it was not ready. I mean, it was a mess. Oh my gosh. Look one way on the outside, but when you stepped in, it was a totally different picture. I mean, walls needed to be built out, space needed to be structured. We needed a sanctuary, offices, and a downstairs for the youth area. And we did not have what we needed to do it. We didn't even have the money to do it. But guess what? God did. So the Lord gave us favor with a man who owned a construction business. And this man would eventually become a member of our church, needless to say. And then there was another man who was a builder. And this is how God worked it. The builder would tell my husband what he needed for the next day's work. And the construction owner would call and say what materials he had available. And guess what? It would be exactly what the builder said that he needed for the next day's work, day after day. I mean, God provided everything that we needed, and it was all free of charge. Every wall, every board, every piece of material, God supplied it down to the chairs that we needed for the sanctuary. So we opened that little church, and God began to send people. Listen, we went out every day, passing out flyers, passing out pamphlets, passing out brochures, inviting people to come on in. I mean, there were young people, old people, and eventually, this was a great blessing, students from the local college. And we watched. We watched God build, and we watched him build what he told my husband to start. And here's the fire in that moment. This is what the fire revealed, and it still continues to reveal it in our lives today. When God says go, he doesn't wait for you to have everything figured out. He waits for your obedience, okay? Because provision does not come before obedience. Provision follows obedience. I'm going to say it again. Provision follows obedience. And hear me really clearly. God will never give you a vision without already having provision attached to it. But the provision is not always in your hands. Sometimes it's in the people. Sometimes it's in the favor. Sometimes it's in the doors opening up, right? That you did not even knock on, those doors that you didn't even have any idea were even opening up for you. And if he had waited, if my husband had waited until we had everything lined up, we would have never started. And some of you listening right now, I'm convinced in my spirit that you're waiting. You're waiting for everything to make sense, waiting for that feeling that everything is ready, right? You're waiting to have all the resources. But listen, God is simply saying to you, go. Go with the vision, go with the dream, go with the entrepreneurship, write that book. Because what you need is already set in motion, but it will not meet you until you move. Habakkuk 2 and 2 says that we're to write the vision and make it plain that he may run that readeth it. Guess what? We're the first readers, and it's time for us to run. That means vision requires movement. Whatever God told you to do, I'll say it again, the book, the entrepreneurship, the business, no hesitation, no delay, movement. So let me ask you today, what has God shown you that you have not stepped into yet? What are you sitting on because you're waiting for it to feel easier, clearer, or safer? And what would happen if you just said yes and started moving right where you are? So if you've ever had to step out on nothing but faith, I want you to drop some fire in the comments because the fire will reveal this too. If God said it, he will provide for it. Listen, this is day 26 of 27 days of fire, the road to 67. And I'm going to see you tomorrow, Lord willing, on my birthday, the 27th. And listen, when God says go, my friend, move. It's time to move. God bless you all. Have a blessed Sunday. And prayerfully, I will see you tomorrow for the 27th day of 27 days of fire, the road to my 67th birthday. Woo! I'm so excited. God bless you all, and you all take care. Bye bye.